Have you ever regretted something you said after a conversation? Just one wrong sentence, one moment of anger, and you could lose an opportunity, a relationship, or even someone's trust. I've been there. 5 years ago, during a meeting, my boss interrupted me. My colleagues ignored me, and I lost my patience and spoke bluntly. The result? A promotion opportunity disappeared, and people started keeping their distance. But it's not just at work, it happens in relationships too. A few years ago, when my partner was venting about work stress, I impatiently jumped in with advice. Just quit and find a better job. I thought I was helping, but all she really needed was to be heard. The result? That whole evening was filled with awkward silence, and the distance between us kept growing. Harvard research shows that 80% of workplace conflicts come from poor communication. But with just a change in the way you speak, you can turn conflicts into opportunities to earn respect and affection. Today, I'm going to share 4 smart communication tips. I promise, if you use these tips in just a week, you'll notice people looking at you differently, calmer, more trustworthy, and someone everyone wants to talk to. The things that turned me from a hothead into a peacemaker. And right after this, you'll learn a single phrase that can stop an argument in just 5 seconds. Are you ready to change the way people see you? Let's dive in. Tip number 1, the magic question that stops arguments. Have you ever been in a situation where the moment you start talking, a conversation instantly turns into an argument? I have, and I bet you have too. But there's one simple question that can stop any conflict and make the other person open up to you. Get ready, because this first tip can completely change the way you communicate. The magic question is, do you want me to just listen, or do you want some advice? To make it clearer, here's a story. A few months ago, my best friend Min called me, stressed out and overwhelmed with work. He said, "I'm exhausted. My boss keeps piling tasks on me, and I don't know how to say no." My first instinct was to jump in with a solution. Try talking to your boss and ask to split the workload. But then I stopped. I remembered a lesson from a past failure, when I tried to fix my girlfriend's problem and only made her more upset. Instead, I asked Min, "Do you want me to just listen, or do you want me to give some suggestions?" Min hesitated for a moment, then said, "Just listen for now." So I listened, nodded, and asked a few questions to help him share more comfortably. After about 10 minutes, Min said, "Thanks, I feel so much better." And the amazing part? He figured out how to talk to his boss on his own, without me giving a single piece of advice. Why is this question so powerful? When someone is emotional, they often just need to be heard, not given a solution right away. This question works because it does 2 things. First, it shows empathy. You let them know you respect their feelings. Second, it avoids a deadly mistake, giving advice before they're ready. Most of us don't realize this and make the mistake of jumping straight into fixing the problem. For example, your partner complains, I'm so stressed from work, and you immediately respond, "Then quit your job." They don't feel understood, and a fight starts. I've done this before with my girlfriend, and trust me, the price can be an entire relationship. So how do you use this question? It's simple. The next time someone, friend, colleague, or loved one, starts sharing a problem, pause for a second, smile, and ask, "Do you want me to just listen, or do you want some advice?" Say it sincerely. Look them in the eyes to show you really care. If they want you to listen, nod and ask open questions like, "So what happened next?" If they want advice, you can give your input without worrying about misunderstanding. Just one small question can turn you from a fighter into a connector. It doesn't just help you avoid arguments, it makes people feel respected and valued. Even better, this question works in any situation, from talking to your partner, a colleague, or even your boss. Using this question can prevent a lot of arguments, but sometimes just listening isn't enough. In real life, there are tougher situations, like when both people are complaining at the same time or an argument has already started. So how do you have a productive conversation in those cases? That's exactly what tip number 2 will show you. Tip number 2, set the rules to control stressful conversations. Just listening isn't enough. Why? Because sometimes in real-life conversations, it's not just one person sharing. Both sides want to speak. Passive listening won't solve anything in those situations, and that's when things get messy. Without a common rule, you'll never find common ground. That's why you need tip number 2. Set the rules to control the conversation. When you feel a discussion is about to turn into an argument and no one is listening to each other, say this: "To make this conversation effective, I'll listen to everything you have to say. Then you listen to me, okay?" Why does this work? Let me share a story. Last week I had a team meeting and things started heating up. I suggested an idea for a new project, but a colleague kept interrupting. "No, that will take too much time." I felt my blood boiling, but instead of arguing back, I paused and said, "Hey, to make sure we understand each other, I'll listen to you first, then you listen to me, okay?" He nodded, and we started. I listened to his reasoning, then explained mine. The result? Not only was my idea accepted, but the team also found a way to combine both ideas for an even better project. After the meeting, that colleague even invited me for coffee to thank me for listening first. According to MIT research, 70% of arguments turn into conflicts because both sides interrupt, putting the brain into defense mode. By setting the rule, "I listen, then you listen," you create a safe space where both sides feel respected. It's like saying, "I care about your opinion, and I want you to care about mine too." We often let emotions take over and interrupt as soon as we disagree. Next time you feel a conversation getting tense, pause for a second and say, "To make this conversation effective, I'll listen to everything you have. Then you listen to me, okay?" Say it sincerely, showing you mean it. If the other person agrees, let them speak first. It immediately makes them feel respected. If they try to interrupt when it's your turn, gently remind them, "Hey, let me finish, then we'll continue." Setting the rules doesn't just help you control the conversation, it makes you a trusted communicator, someone everyone wants to work with. So now you've learned 2 tips: listening and setting the rules to keep people calm. But there's another challenge. How do you get others to actually accept your ideas? Listening and controlling the conversation doesn't guarantee agreement. Are you ready to discover the next tip to win people over? Keep watching. Tip number 3, the emotional bridge. After you've eased the tension in a conversation by setting the rules, the next step is persuading the other person. And getting someone to listen is easy, but getting them to agree, that's the hard part. There's a surprisingly simple way to do this, and it has the power to completely turn a conversation around. The phrase you need is, "I understand how you feel, but I think we could try this." This works because it starts with empathy. When you say, "I understand how you feel," the other person feels heard and understood instead of immediately challenged. That lowers their defenses, and then you can gently introduce your idea. By combining recognition of their feelings with your suggestion, you keep the conversation calm while making it much easier for them to agree. In relationships or at work, you've probably seen this before. In a disagreement with your partner, they get upset and say, "You never care about me." Your instinct is to defend yourself immediately. "I do care. Don't say that." But we both know that arguing like that never works. If instead you start with, "I understand how you feel," it shows them you truly get their frustration. You'll see the magic. The anger goes down, and the conversation becomes much easier. Or at work, a boss or colleague is stressed because a project is behind schedule. Their tone is tense, maybe even blaming you. Your reflex is to argue back, "It's not my fault." But when both sides are tense, arguing just makes it worse. If you simply change your approach and empathize first, they calm down. And surprisingly, they're much more open to your idea. Stanford research shows that when you show empathy, the other person's brain activates areas related to trust and connection. When you say, "I understand how you feel," you're sending a signal. "I'm here, I care about you." This lowers their defenses and makes them ready to hear your suggestion. Compared to direct arguing, starting with empathy increases your chance of persuading them by 60% because it feels like you're on their team, not against them. Most of the time, when someone is emotional, we jump into debate or defend our point of view. This often leads to hours of arguing with no one convinced. But if you start with, "I understand that you feel this isn't fair," things could be completely different. When you feel a conversation getting tense, pause and say, "I understand how you feel, but I think we could try this." Emphasize the "I understand." Then share your idea clearly and briefly. If they still resist, repeat the empathy. "I know you're concerned, but I believe this approach will help." This keeps the conversation positive and opens the door for agreement. The first 3 tips are like 3 important puzzle pieces, but to complete the picture, you need the final piece, the tip that will determine whether you're just a decent communicator or someone everyone trusts and wants to work with. Tip number 4. Are you a good or great communicator? You already have 3 solid pillars for smart communication: the magic question, setting the rules, and the emotional bridge. But to make this house stand strong, you need the 4th pillar: the ability to stay calm under any pressure. Losing your cool can ruin everything. Have you ever lost your temper and shouted during a conversation? If yes, I want to share a simple technique. Takes less than 10 seconds that helps you stay confident and in control in any discussion. This is tip number 4, and it will make you the calmest person in any situation. Our technique is the 4-4-4 breathing method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Imagine your boss suddenly yells, "Why is this delayed?" Your heart races, your head feels hot, and you just want to fire back immediately. This is the deciding moment. Either you lose your temper and everything explodes, or you pause. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Just one breath cycle gives you enough time to regain confidence and respond in a calm, clear tone. The result? The conversation stops being an argument and becomes an opportunity to show your professionalism and reliability. When stressed, your body produces cortisol, the hormone that makes you lose control. Deep 4-4-4. Breathing lowers cortisol, slows your heart rate, and activates the brain region responsible for calmness. Compared to reacting impulsively, calm people are 3 times more persuasive because they appear trustworthy and in control. Next time you feel stressed in a conversation with a boss, colleague, or loved one, pause to ease the tension. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. Then respond in a calm, clear voice. One moment of calm can change the entire outcome. When you stay in control, you not only persuade others, but also become the best version of yourself. Put all these tips into practice and transform your life. Just 4 tips, but they can turn you from a hot-tempered, easily misunderstood person into someone respected and truly heard in every conversation. The magic question stops arguments in seconds. Setting the rules lets you control tense discussions. Empathy opens the door to persuasion. And 4-4-4 breathing helps you stay calm under the highest pressure. This is the power of smart communication. The power to not only speak better, but also build stronger, better relationships every day. These tips aren't just theory, they've changed my life. By changing the way I communicate, I've not only advanced in my career, but also built lasting, meaningful relationships. And I believe you can do it too. Try applying one of these 4 tips the next time you communicate with someone. If it works, leave a word in the comments describing how it feels. If you think someone important to you needs to learn these communication tips, share this video with them. One small action can help the people you care about live better and even change their lives. And if you're curious today about how to turn laziness into action, click on the next video where I'll show how I beat laziness with just one simple daily habit.